Hello everyone! Welcome to my show. I feel awkward. Okay. Hold on. Welcome to my show. So, hold on, let's put the marker down. After I have been in Spain for about 3 months, I have had so many crazy, strange experiences. Good experiences nonetheless, but I've had some really strange experiences. Experiences. I just forgot how to say experiences. Yeah, that's, oh my God. I forget English sometimes now because I speak Spanish every single day. I'm going to capitalize on that opportunity and turn it into a little mini series, if you will. So, on today's first episode of Strangest Things That Have Happened to Me Since I Moved Abroad, or we're probably just gonna go with hashtag strangest things for short, not stranger things. That's kind of already taken. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, if that's like copyright or something. YouTube, please don't be mad at me. Okay, I'm about to start this story, but I kind of low-key wish I had a straw because I don't want to mess up my lipstick. Oh, wait. Booyah! I'm not going to tell you guys what time it is because then you'll judge me for drinking this beer. Oh yes, now we're on a talk show. Now we are on a talk show. Maybe next week I'll have wine. Talking about my first time getting waxed in Spain. So, to preface this story, I have been getting waxed off and on for the last couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years. So at home in the US, in Ohio, I pay about $55 for a Brazilian bikini wax, and that includes a generous tip. Here, it's 10 euros before tip, and you can tip if you want to. They appreciate it, but they don't expect it here. It's a little bit different. The people who work in services, they don't work on tips. $55 US compared to 9 or 10 euros, which 9 or 10 euros, let's check really quickly. Basically 12 US dollars. So 12 US dollars compared to the almost $60 I pay to get a Brazilian wax at home. Much better here. When I found that out and I found out how cheap it was to get waxed here, obviously I was like, yeah, we need to do this. But, okay, so they called me back to the room, and at first I didn't even know that they were talking to me because like I'm sitting in the waiting area, and then the lady she didn't call my name, but she said something, but she said it in Spanish obviously, and she said it really, really fast, and I was like, is she talking to me? Do I get up? I don't really know. Walk back out to the waiting room. She's like, I was like, oh, you were talking to me. Okay. But there's a laser machine in the room also, and this is going to be relevant in just a moment. But anyways, she starts waxing me. It's fine. And another girl comes into the room, which was already kind of strange because the place I get waxed at home, that would never happen. Someone can't just come in the room while you're getting waxed. But to them, I don't know, they're not being rude and they're not being disrespectful. That's just normal to them. They're like, I mean, you came here to get waxed. You knew you were gonna have to get naked. I don't understand why it's weird for you that I'm in this room also. The privacy here is way different. I get waxed in the US when you try to if anyone had to come into the room, which that would never happen, but even you go into the room, you get undressed from the waist down, and then they knock on the door at a doctor's office. When they open the door, they're just yeah, I have sweatpants on, it's fine. Trying not to open the door all the way because obviously they're trying to be modest because you're naked from the waist down. That's how it operates at home. They're trying to be respectful of your modesty and barely kind of sort of open the door. And when they come back in for you here in Spain, you're sitting there half naked. They just fling the door open. Someone else could have been walking by in the hallway. I was in the room getting waxed and another girl just comes in, and she worked there and everything, and I was just like, oh hey. They were talking Spanish for a second, and then the girl left, but then the girl that was actually waxing me, she was like, we have to go to a different room now. I was like, what? Why? We already started here. Why do I have to move? This is so strange. I guess from what I could interpret from their Spanish, I think they needed the laser machine, and maybe that's the only room that has a laser machine in it. So we had started in that room, but that's why we didn't get to finish in that room. I mean, it was awkward anyways because someone came in while I was getting waxed, and thankfully I was just okay, whatever, it's another girl, she works here, it's fine, I'm not gonna trip over it or anything. And we go into the second room finally to finish my wax, and the story gets better, you guys. This is not even the most awkward part. It's about to get really, really awkward. It was a little bit different though because this girl was really slow. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're gonna go slow and do your job right, then I could care less, I guess, but When I get waxed at home, like those girls are literally like machines. They're like pour, spread, rip, pour, spread, rip. Shout out to Wax Pot in Columbus, Ohio, because you guys are amazing. I don't lay on the table for longer than like 7 minutes. I'm not kidding. Here, this girl, she was like pouring, spreading. Okay. Now we gotta lay it. Okay. And rip. They're a little bit slower, which is kind of appropriate for Spain when you think about it. Like they're just more like, let's take our time. Like Americans are so rushed and like, and they're just like, why rush? Let's enjoy. Moving on. She waxes like the front. Okay, so like when you get a Brazilian bikini wax, for me, a Brazilian bikini wax is like taking off everything. So they do all the front and then like the back. They also, I mean, just to put it bluntly, they also wax your ass because you know that's all a part of it when you wear like a thong bathing suit. So she waxed my front, all of that is good. And then she says something like really quickly, like in Spanish, and then like walks out the door. And I was like, what did she say? And like, they say something so fast, and if you don't catch it, if you weren't paying attention at that exact moment, I have no idea what she said. So I didn't know if she said, okay, you're done, I'll meet you up front, or if she said like, I'll be right back, I just need to get something. Like, I had no idea what she said. So I'm laying there, and I'm laying there. Like, because she's only waxed my front at this point. So I'm hoping that she's gonna come back, but like, 5 minutes goes by, like literally like 10 minutes goes by and no one's coming back into the room to check on me or anything. Might I add you, like I could have been dead. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think she said she's coming back. Dang it, what do I do? So I'm knocking on the door, but from the inside of the room. So hopefully someone in the hallway can hear me. But I also can't leave the room because I'm naked from the waist down. I have like the paper thing wrapped around me. I don't even care at this point. I just need someone to like acknowledge my presence so they can get the attention of the girl that was waxing me so she can come back in here. I'm knocking, like I'm making so much noise and no one is coming back there with like the door cracked open, hoping to see someone walking down the hallway, and I'm like knocking and I'm making loud noise, and this goes on for like literally probably a minute and a half. That doesn't sound like very long, but a minute and a half of me standing in a room with a paper blanket wrapped around me, half naked, knocking. Finally, after all of the noise I was making, I get someone's attention that was walking down the hallway who works there. And I'm like, ay, perdona. In my broken Spanish, like, can you get the girl? Like, can you get the girl that was in here? Like, get, please. He comes back in the room and she's like, like, she said something in Spanish, and I don't know exactly what she said, but she kind of said something, I think, to the nature of like, what's the problem? Like, what's wrong? What is something? I still had to look her in the eye and say in my broken Spanish, I'm sorry, I didn't know you left the room. Can you please come back and wax my ass for me? True story. She was cool about it. When you left the room, like you talk really fast, like it was fast, and I didn't know what you said, and she's like, no pasa, like they say no pasa nada, that means it's okay. They're like, no pasa nada, like don't worry about it, it's okay. Yeah. It was pretty strange. I didn't expect the experience of getting waxed in Spain to be that much different than it is getting waxed in the US. Another girl here that's American, who's my friend, went to go get waxed at the same place. She had 2 girls come in the room while she was getting waxed. 2 girls, literally, like she's laying there, legs wide open, and like they just come in the room like, hey girl, I left my thing on the counter, like excuse me. And then another girl came in, she's like, oh hey, like we gotta go. And she's laying there, legs open, like, hello, like could we just like not keep coming in here please? If one girl started waxing me but then another girl finished waxing me, who do I tip? It's not like that here. They kind of all help each other out. People here don't work on tips. Like in the US, you're paid a little bit less just because you're expected to receive tips. Like that's kind of like how the service industry economy works, but it's not the same here. And it's kind of nice when you think about it, but it's just like when you actually think logistically, like, yeah, they all help each other out and they all collectively wax all the same vaginas together. It's more open here, like they're just more free and like intimate, and it's not a big deal. I still go back and get waxed there. I get my nails done there because I really do like it there. Like they do a great job. It's a nice place. But yeah, that was my first strange story out of many more to come. I like telling these stories, but at the same time, I don't like the strange experiences in the moment when they're happening to me. And yeah, just come back next week for yet another strange experience that has happened to me. Thank you so much on what? Swear I don't know how to speak English anymore since I speak Spanish now. Like I can't, and I can't even speak Spanish that well, so now what is life? Like I can't speak Spanish that well, now my English sometimes suffers because I forget words in English because I'm practicing Spanish all the time. I don't even know what's happening. It's time to go. Join me next week on a new episode of Strangest Things That Have Happened to Me Since I Moved Abroad. Cheers.